Vivian, and what do we have, Vivian?
2 cats, Lola's the white and Angel's the darker one.
All right, great, thank you. And if we use our playground voices, that would be spectacular.
I have my phone turned off. All right, I'm Gabriel, and that's Hunter.
Hunter.
Yeah. And it's my cat.
So I have a request of all the little ones. If you're really quiet, then guess what? Nana Reverend has a surprise for you at the end. We're bribing.
It's my cat.
Your cat. Can you hold it up so everyone can see it, please?
I have a cat. My name's Stephanie. I have a cat named Angel, and I love her very much. And then I have a bunch of goldfish.
Great, thank you.
I have a lot of pets, but my baby, his name is Joffreen, and he's a miniature pig. And
Say your name.
oh, my name's Selena.
Great.
And, yeah.
You have a pig. Great, thank you so much. And you know, for the Irish, it's good luck, so I see you.
My name's Louisa, and I have a dog named Prince, and he's a Pomeranian.
Great, thank you.
I have a cat and a dog. My name is Camry. My dog's name is Layla, and my cat's name is Soul.
Wow. Let's see. All right, so what's your name?
Emily.
Emily. Okay, Emily.
And this is Smokey.
Oh, look at Smokey.
He's laying on the new couch.
Oh no, he's laying on the new couch. He's not allowed. So pets sometimes can be like little kids, huh? Yeah, okay, yes.
My name is Daddy. Even this is my pet Frodo.
Oh my gosh, that's a beautiful rendition.
When I was a baby, he tried to bite me.
Oh, was he hungry?
I think.
You think so? Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you have a pet you want to share with us?
It is Gregory.
Okay. And what is your name?
Sebastian.
Sebastian is in the house. Yes.
And we have, can you tell her your name? What's your name? Say Eska. You say Eska?
Eska. Okay.
And he has his pet, who's that? Nimmy. This is his pet, Nimmy.
Okay. So what we want you to do, so everybody who has a pet, even who isn't here, at the end of the service, if you'd like a blessing certificate, come and see me and we'll make sure that we get one for you. Even if your animal, your pet has angel wings, we can still give you a certificate. What it says is, we love you, we bless you, we appreciate your companionship and love. Thank you for bringing great joy into our life. Presented on this, the 4th day of October, the year 2015. But what I want us to do now is to hold our hand over our heart, even if you don't have your animal with you. Can you put your right hand on your heart? Close your outer eyes if that's comfortable for you. And we say to our animals, thank you. So can we hear it from all of the kids up front? To our animals, thank you. Let's say it again. And so what would you say thank you for? One word as you go down the line. Real fast. One word you're grateful for your animal because they're cuddly, warm, soft.
They're totally crazy.
Great. Crazy. 2 words. 1 word, please, as you go down. Loving. Use your playground voices all the way down.
Companionship.
Companionship.
Skilled.
Skilled. All right. We can talk about that later. Yes. Loyal. Cat. Trust. All right. Yes? One reason why you love your animal. Yes. Love. Say it really loud.
Love.
Great. All right. So now, if Miss Joan will help me, I'm going to start at the other end. And Nana Reverend and Miss Pam have come up with some gifts for you. All right? Because today we're celebrating giving and receiving. You gave us your joy by sharing your pet with us. And so you get to pick with one hand an animal, and Miss Joan will start down there. Even the big kids. There you go. All the kids get to come up, absolutely. One hand, good job. All right, and then when you get your pet, you can stand up here and we're going to tell them how much we love them. There's lots of choices. I know it's tough sometimes. And if you leave my favorite, I'll be really happy. All right. So what we know and what we embrace here at Unity of Melbourne is that Reverend Beth understands, as does your board, that church looks different sometimes. All right. Here's some. Does every little kid have an animal? Ducky? All right, great. Okay. So what do we do at the end of the service? I understand you always do a part for your children's church. Who would like to lead that? One of you bigger kids. Would you leave what you do? Prayer for protection.
The light of God
Surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. And the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is. And all is well.
So before we send the
Amen.
kids out today.
And so we're well prayed in. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Do you know that you're an instrument of peace, of love? Because that's really what St. Francis was really all about. Being a demonstration, our fifth principle of unity, putting feet on your faith, getting out there off of our butts and out to say what is ours to say, to do what is ours to do, and to be what is ours to be in this world, expressing. There's a great, great little something I found, of course, at Oh Dark 100 when God keeps talking to me about, oh, yeah, share that too. Seriously, I know that we're already almost at time because of our children's church, but we made that decision to include the kids, especially the teenagers. How about that? They showed up. Yeah? Miss Pam said, well, I'm not sure if they're going to come. I said, well, I'll just go in and say hello, and then, we take it and we see what happens. And so I didn't threaten them, I promise. And so this is what we're told is inscribed somewhere over in Italy, and I couldn't find the source of where it is, but it's been carved in the walls, and now people put ink on it or a marker, and it says, I need your hands because I live in heaven, so I have no hands to work on this earth, or no feet to run the roads, no arms to embrace the children, so I have need of you. So I have made you with your hands. I can touch your brothers and sisters. With your eyes, I can see their souls. With your feet, I can walk and contemplate and reveal the kingdom of heaven right here, right now on earth. With your compassion, I can heal the wounded. With your presence, I can comfort the afflicted. With your prayers, I can see troubled spirits and hearts. And with you, I can bring forth miracles. So tell me, can I count on you? Isn't that great? And as I dig in a little bit more, I'll find it and send it to Joellen, and she can let you know where that came from. It's so simple, isn't it? It's not always easy, right? You get a traffic ticket on the way to church, or someone cuts you off, or they give you that international peace sign, right? And your attitude shifts. And so the encouragement is, can we shift it into making it a holy moment? A holy moment, because what we know is life happens and it ends, doesn't it? Sometimes without any warning, like what happened in Oregon this week, right? So let's breathe for a moment and think, wow, what? It's ours to do based on listening to the news, and I don't have a TV, and I don't read the newspaper, but I am a minister, so I should know what's happening, right? And so I watch on Google or something, and then as it becomes important, I look at it. So I noticed yesterday there were also floods happening in Charleston and into Somerville, so my 6-year-old grandson was not able to have his birthday party outside. That's a big deal, right, for Nana, who couldn't be there because I was committed here, and now they have to be inside. Not so bad, seriously, because they still had all the same fun. But so we can be aware of what's happening in the world and not be of it. right? Not get so like, forget it, I'm never going to church again because, whatever. Get over yourself. If you have an issue, figure out what it is, right? Because as ministers, I'm here to afflict you because you're comfortable, and then we comfort the afflicted, right? So I didn't make that up, but I certainly have used it many, many times. And we comfort knowing that I have 2 or 3 people I know as I'm helping out Reverend Rose up at Merritt Island going into the hospital this week. Wow, and so there's only so many hands and feet, and I know Maggie goes to the hospital, and we have new prayer chaplains that you guys, because I was part of that training as well. And so how do we extend Reverend Beth's hands and feet? How do we extend the consciousness of the board out into the community? We become an instrument. You get to choose. I'll help with that, I'll help with that, and also, no is a complete sentence. Doesn't mean we're not going to ask again, right? So there's a story that goes around, and I'm sure you've heard this, that says there was a small girl on the street shivering in a really thin dress, and this person, as the story goes, was very angry and said, come on, God, what? Why do you permit this? Why don't you do something about it? And God said nothing. This person heard nothing, but was in this rage as they continued to walk. And that night, as this person went to bed and was saying their prayers in gratitude and all that, and probably had forgotten about the outburst earlier in the day, what came to this person was, I did do something. I created you. It's a big job. It's a big job to be God expressing in this world, but we can do it. Are you ready to do it? Are you game? Yes. To be an instrument? So let's say with our playground voices, I'm ready. I'm ready. Doesn't mean you're going to be excavating land for someone or, doing anything huge. Maybe you're smiling. Maybe you open the door for somebody. Maybe you volunteer in the Sunday school. Whatever it is, bring food on Sunday. Whatever your heart feels like it needs to do. So there's a story about a young boy who knew he was doing something good. He wasn't quite sure what he was doing. And he and another friend decided that they would go to the cemetery and be quiet and count all of the pecans that had fallen from the tree. So they're sitting there, and they gathered up a bucket full of them, and they're together. So imagine these 2 little cute little mischievous boys sitting there. They were out of sight. No one could really see them because, of course, they didn't want to be seen, and so they're not going to be, are they? If children don't want to be seen, they're not going to be seen. I found once my little one in the dog's cage, and I took a picture of it. And I sent it to my friends. I'm like, don't put that on Facebook because you're going to DCFS, whatever it's going to call you. You are not being the good Nana. So these 2 little boys, I digress. The 2 little boys are sitting behind the tree, and they're separating the nuts. 1 for you, 1 for me. 1 for you, 1 for me. And as they're doing this, some of them roll down the hill towards the fence. And meanwhile, unbeknownst to this little girl, she comes riding on her bicycle, and she's riding her bicycle, and she hears these voices in the cemetery. Now, as a kid, you're thinking cemeteries are kind of scary, right? And so she slows down to investigate. Imagine me on a bicycle at 8. Like, what's going on in there? And she hears 1 for you, 1 for me. And she thought, oh no. So she gets back on her bike and she rides until she sees somebody, and she sees this elderly man, probably someone over 150, because of course that means old these days, right? And he's coming around the bend, and he's kind of wobbling, and he's got this cane, and she's like, Mister, come quick. You won't believe what I heard. And he's like, listen, I'm old, I'm trying to walk. She says, no, up at the cemetery, the devil and God, they're dividing up the souls. And he says, beat it, kid, can't you see? And I'm just trying to walk. And she's like, no, mister, please, will you come with me? Please come with me. So finally, he acquiesces, and he walks with her back up to the cemetery. And they're listening. 1 for you, 1 for me. 1 for you, 1 for me. And the old man says, oh my gosh, girl, you've been telling me the truth this whole time. let's see if we can get a look at what God looks like. And I'd love to see what the devil looks like. So they're peering, they're looking through the fence and they're trying to see, and they don't see anything. Because remember, the boys were strategically hidden behind the tree. And they're shaking with fear as they continue to hear, one for you, one for me. And they're holding onto the bars of the fence, because they had fences then, I guess, at least in this story. And they're looking through and they're just like, oh my gosh. And they're thinking, God and the devil, they're having this conversation. One for you, one for me. All right, that's all of them. Now let's go get those. I'm sorry. I always do the punchline. Now let's get those nuts that are down by the fence. And as the story goes, that man walked faster. It took a mile before that kid on the bike passed him. So the girl thinking, let me just, get somebody involved, right? Let me have somebody help me identify who these are that are talking in the cemetery. So laughter helps us understand, too, doesn't it? That in unity, certainly we don't believe in anything that is not love. It shows up, but it just means that the light hasn't hit it or that there isn't love there. Because every action is either a demonstration of love or a call for love. Mm-hmm. And when we think like that, like, oh, that person wasn't really loving, as opposed to, oh, call them a name or, something like that, we say that person might need love. So it helps us shift our consciousness into how we're going to respond rather than react to someone when they show up less than. We also know that there is no separation. So there can't be God and something that isn't God. And that you just don't get that. I've been in Unity now 30 years next year, so 29 years. And it takes a long time. I was only 10 when I started. Just saying. So it takes a while to get it in it took a while for you guys to get that. All right. So you get it from your head to your heart. How does that work? And how do we live it? And how do we know that we don't need to be afraid? We don't need to be scared. And we certainly don't need to solicit another person to validate us at all. And at 57, I'm finally getting that. Your opinion of me is none of my business. Amen. Right? It really takes a long time to get that, even though we know it. How does it, again, travel that longest distance into our heart and into the soul and the truth of who we are? So Charles Fillmore, who's the co-founder of Unity, says, pronounce every experience good and of God. Good and of God. And by that mental attitude, we will call forth only the good. Again, pretty easy. I carry this statement in my wallet so that when I forget, which is not every moment anymore, then I can, look at it and go, wait, oh no, this is good. This is for my soul. This is for my good. And do you see then the shift in it all, whatever it is that's happening in your life? And we've all gone through stuff, haven't we? We continue to. There's a great book, another oldie book in Unity by Stella Terrell Mann, and it's called Make Your Dreams Come True. And what she says is our relationship with God should be such that we go to sleep every night, certain in our own minds that all is well. Always has been, always will be. Period. Wouldn't that change us? I might sleep better. Right? Because doesn't that, well, at least my mind, like, oh, well, blah, 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 blah. What are you going to talk tomorrow? What are you doing? Oh my God, I wonder how Reverend Beth is. The oceans are, blah, 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 whatever it is. Stop, right? And you're going to be learning some of that, what we call the roommates, because you guys are going to be studying the untethered soul, which we just did up at Merritt Island, Unity of Merritt Island. And so the roommate in your brain that keeps talking, that's not paying rent, get out. You're not paying rent, get out. And are you okay to allow the unhappy, unworthy thoughts go? And know that there is unconditional happiness all the time for our choosing. I would say that's the second most powerful book in unity in these 30 years. The first one, I believe, for me was Discover the Power Within. That caused earthquakes in me, and this one was causing tsunamis in 1 month's time. Wow, that clinging even to the good blocks the rest of the good that can come to me. Really, how could that be? Because if it was this good, well, get out of the way. Maybe something better is coming, something greater. And so the big aha, which I shared, I think, only with Maggie, but the big aha for those of you who knew Reverend Tom, who was part of this congregation way back, actually was on the board that hired Reverend Beth. I got this aha in this last 2 weeks that I get to stop clinging to the memory of Reverend Tom. With angel wings, okay, this is his dream made manifest, that you would be in a bigger building. You know, it's something that, how many buildings did we look at? Holy guacamole. You know, it's just thinking we needed a new building, and now here you are. But clinging to that allows nothing else of the good to come to me. That was a huge shift in my mind and in my life. And I shared that with my daughter, and she's like, we've been waiting. Really? Talk to the hand, right? You try to do that, you know? And she said to me, you know, even though you're throwing away stuff that was Dad's, because these are my stepchildren that I inherited, it doesn't mean you don't love him. And even though it doesn't mean you don't love him. And I'm like, oh my gosh, how did she get to be so wise? Because she came to Unity of Melbourne when she was a kid. And so we can always learn. Look at all those little ones up here tonight or today, and understanding that they understand what pets mean. And how about them working the phone like, let me get, which picture do I want to show you? We better catch up, right? We better catch up. So there's another story about a little boy and his dad out on a hike. And he said to his dad, do you think I can do whatever I want to do? Anything? And his dad said, well, of course, right? That's what we say. So he said, all right. And he walked up to this really big rock. He's trying to move it with his little body, you know, and it's not moving. And he said, Dad, you said I could do whatever I wanted. And his dad said, you can. He said, I did. I tried with all my power to move that rock. And the dad said, you did use all your power, but you did not ask. So you used the power of your body. You did not use the rest of your gifts to enroll me, right, as the dad, to help you move this rock. So when we think we have to do it alone, we don't. We don't. And that's what this community, you already know this. It's like I'm preaching to the choir, right? You already know. If you need, you ask. But we gave up mind reading as ministers and licensed teacher. You know, Maggie is a licensed teacher, and Paulette is a licensed teacher, and you have 2 more gonna-be licensed teachers. Huge. You know, some churches never have 1. I mean, it's amazing. So are you willing to get up the courage to ask? Like we demonstrated with some of the little kids who came in and said, well, I want that one, and I want that one, and I want that one, and that one. And I said, well, you're going to have to choose one. Well, what if I want 2? One little girl said. I said, that's nice. Right? But she's knowing, and so we don't ever squash that. We get it all going and asking. So are you willing to ask for help? That's what's going to take to make all of this building and all of this magnificence of your campus going forward. Your hands, your feet. And so maybe if you haven't been asked yet, hold on. But if you haven't been asked, you will be. Or you might see something that you can do and you have a skill. So jump in and do that. Remember, God made us to do that. Our hands, our feet. Our hands and our feet. So I want you to turn to your neighbors and say, you're the one we've been waiting for. Now, turn to somebody else and use your playground voice. Okay, these 2 ladies over here need some help. Right? That's great stuff. So Charles Fillmore said, pray and move your feet. And when I was doing my I guess we would call it almost like a senior recital. What we called them was our prayer chapel services, and I wanted to do it on social justice, on outreach and all of that, and out of which the Nehemiah retreats were born at Unity Village. And I remember my classmates going, "You're never going to graduate. We can't do that. We only navel gaze in Unity." Well, thank God we have moved in the last 7 or 8 years where we do put hands on our feet, not only within our own community but outside. And I know you already do that. So pray and move your feet within this community. And also what we know, and we use Jesus as our elder brother, our way shower, when we talk about the Bible and how he lived his life. Because I was just with my family and they said, "So what's that thing that you do, that unity thing? Is that a cult?" And I said, "Well, could be a cult, but we just, focus on how Jesus lived." And my brother-in-law, who always is well-spoken, said, "Well, what does that mean?" I said, "I just didn't learn that as a little Catholic girl. But we focus on how Jesus lived his life, not only personally, but what he did as far as learning and growing his consciousness, and then how did he demonstrate it." So a summation of that is, he didn't come to save us, right? Because we have to save ourselves from ourselves, because that's all that there is ourselves, because we're one. But the stories direct our attention back to the reality of who we are. We're all begotten. Right. We are all begotten, and we are all a divine expression. Now, you may look in the mirror and go, I need to straighten up that divine expression a little bit. Well, that's your business. Tend to it, do it. It could be an attitude that needs to get changed, but that's it. So direct our attention back to the reality that we are the divine expression of God. It's a big deal, isn't it? Yes. So say to yourself, "I am the one I've been waiting for. I am the one I have been waiting for." So close your eyes and let us end in prayer. And if it helps to put your hand on your heart, say it again. "I am the one I have been waiting for." Because if we all take care of ourselves, guess what? Life is going to be really good. Then we're filled up with prayer. We're filled up with whatever else that we might need, so then we can start lending our hands and our feet and our mind. And this is a quote from Pierre Teilhard de Chardin. "You think of yourselves as humans searching for a spiritual awakening, when in fact you are a spiritual being attempting to cope with a human awakening. Seeing yourselves from the perspective of the spirit within, you will help to remember why you came here and what you came here to do." So you are a spiritual being experiencing a human awakening. That's the shift that I leave you with today. And we're grateful for this Unity community. I'm grateful to be home yet again. This is my church of home in Florida. I'm grateful for you. Grateful for Reverend Beth, Gerald, and all of the board, all of the leaders in this church that make this place possible. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Amen.